Page 66, he knows my name. So 4/4 time, key of F major's got one flat, all the B's are flatted. Lots of eighth notes around. Right hand at the beginning, 1 and 2 and 3, see that's tied, hang on to it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now scrunch up little finger on the A. 1 and 2, 2, 3. Last line, last two measures there on page 66. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Lots of tied notes in this. They're wonderful. Top of page 67. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1. We'll be picky with this rhythm. Count it out carefully. As you speed it up and get to know it, you don't have to count it, you can feel it. But for now, count it. At the bottom of the page, last line on page 67. 1 and now they're saying 4. Cross over. I don't know why. In my mind, you could play it here and just fifth finger on the D and then reach down with the third finger and do the A. And I don't have to cross over the thumb. I can cover all of these in one position. I mean, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Use their fingering if you want, but I recommend this one. So it's 5. So again, the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. See that F in the second measure comes on the end of 2. 1 and 2 and. Right there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then the last, again, same fingering in my mind. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Like so. Top of page 68. First measure is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And I'd keep that same fingering. The fifth finger on the D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now there's different fingerings we can use for this. At the top of page 68, at the end of the line, going into the second line or the third line. They're recommending a third finger on the F. That's fine. You can use second finger if you want. That's fine. Because I've been recommending thumb, but thumb doesn't work all that well unless you on the second and third line when you get to the A, the second beat, you need to scrunch up and use fourth finger on the A here, and then you can. Because we need the E and I need the thumb here. So, and then second finger on the F. That works if you want to try that. They're recommending third finger for the last note of the first line, and that's fine too. It's up to you. And but for the third line down here, for the last beat in the first measure, you do need third finger on that F. There, regardless of how you fingered it before, put in the third line, first measure, last note. That F, third finger. That way you're in position for the rest of it. And then last line, second measure, is here. And they're saying, come down, fifth finger. This is okay because it's the pedal will help us out. The song is pretty much over. This is sort of like a coda or a tag on the end. So you can lift up and move. We can have some silence there. And for the next to the last measure, I recommend, if your hand's big enough, I recommend a 1/4 and then a 1/3. And then you can come down and do a whatever you want on the half note. A 1/4 works fine for me, and then come up. That's rolled. You decide on the fingering. But if you want to do that, or a 2/5, that's fine. I just like to connect it with the fingers if I can. That's why I'm recommending that. For the left hand, again, the left hand is providing support. Underneath, keep it soft at the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. It's 4-1 for the FC. And then go up 1 and actually a 3-1 works better for that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and then thumb on the C. And then the last. Try and play that legato if you can. Last line, second measure, on page 66. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Last line on page 67. You're here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Reach down, then up. That's fine. Last on page 68 at the bottom. Last two measures, you're here. 4-1 is fine. If you want to do a 5-2 here, it's up to you. You can do a 4-1 and then a 5-1 or 5-2 at the end. You want to do 5-1 for all of those? It's kind of a beginner's fingering. I don't recommend it. You're getting into music. If you can play this kind of thing, you need to get beyond the beginner level of fingering things. So we're going to be using other fingers. So actually I'd recommend a 3-1 and then a 4-1 and then a 5-2 on those. All I'm doing is connecting the bottom note. It's not melody, but next to the melody, the bass line is the next most important. So in some cases, we try and protect the bass line or feel the bass line too. And here we can do that. That's what we want. It's a slow piece. And dynamic, again, you're going to have to experiment with the dynamics, but it's the melody. Well, at the bottom of the page, when the words start, that's what we want to hear. Everything else has to stay soft. So at the top of the page, just make the right hand a little louder than the left. Clear as mud. Count it out if you're not sure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? And then bring out the melody. At the top of page 67, the second measure, the first beat is still melody. You're hanging on to the words, whatever you're singing, but those other two beats, that's not melody. Come down on those, play those soft. And then the second line, when the words start again, play the melody out more. So forth. So wherever the melody is, wherever the words are, you play those notes out and keep everything else down. Then we add the pedal to help smooth this out a bit because it's kind of choppy. Now, we want to keep the pedaling kind of simple, but it's got a lot of moving around again, so you're going to have to decide on the sounds you want. If I pedal it pretty much with the harmony in the left hand, it's this way. that sounds okay to you, pedal it that way. I'm just changing it with the harmony in the left hand. And at the bottom, when the verse starts, basically it's every 2 beat, but it's with the harmony in the left hand. Bottom of the page, 67, second measure. I don't pedal the last beat. There, no pedal there. The right hand stays down for the half note, but I'm just not pedaling it there. So again, the last line on page 67. Like so, top of page 68. Don't pedal the last beat. For the third line down again, it's here. And the last line, second measure, those last 2 eighth notes in the right hand, those are by themselves. There's no pedal here, so the measure is. Now, slow down, soften. Every 2 beats there, and to the last measure it's the whole measure, and then the hands and the pedal and everything come up together and everybody's happy. Oh, well, play it again, play it again. Let's go over this slowly just to make sure we got the notes and the rhythms and all that. So I'm going to do pages 66 and 67, then stop, turn the page, count in again, and do page 68. I'm not going to do the repeats or anything. I'm just going to go straight through it. So I'm going to give 4 counts. If you want to play along, go ahead, at least one hand at a time or something, to make sure you got the right notes and rhythms. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. 4 and 1, 3 and 4 and. Turn the page, 1 and 2 and ready and go and. 2 and 3. 3 and 4 and. Go on to the next line. 2, 3 and 4 and.